Ready? Oh, okay. Charlotte, your hand is up.
Yes, thank you. Jan Preset is trying to get into the Zoom, so just so that Amrita knows that. Thank you.
He's in Zoom.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Amrita, is everyone in that's supposed to be in? Are they here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then we're going to start now. Welcome to tonight's License Subcommittee meeting. My name is Councillor Macy Ume, and I'll be chairing tonight's meeting. The meeting is being broadcast live on Council's YouTube channel. If I lose connection and cannot reconnect, Councillor Wesley Harcourt will take over for me. I would like to remind all participants of a few housekeeping points. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are speaking. Please keep your camera turned on when you speak at the hearing. Please note that the chat function has been disabled. If parties wish to add any additional information other than their allocated time to speak, they must use raise hand function so that they are not missed. I also ask members to keep their questions and comments brief to the point. I now move to item 1 on agenda. Apologies for absence, none was received. Item 2, declaration of interests. Do members have any declaration of interest? No.
No, Chair.
Sorry, no, Chair.
Okay, no, thank you so much. Thank you, Councillor. Item 3, select chicken, located at ground floor 249 North End Road, London, SW6 1NN. I would like to ask everyone participating to introduce yourself as I call on you. I will be calling on first names. We should have with us Ahmed, the applicant.
Yes, madam. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity for me to introduce myself. First off, thank you for all the councillor for giving us chance for this application. My name is Zalke Hazarbuz. Right next to me, I've just explained to Mr. Ahmed Farid Sultan. So I will be representing this application on behalf of him, which I've already informed the council.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zakiri. And we should have with us Christiana Perez. Yes?
Present, Chair. Thank you.
And we have with us Safai, and she's our legal advisor.
Evening, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Objecting, we have responsible authorities. We have Adrian, Overt and Licensing.
Present, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. We should have with us John Garcia, Noise and Nuisance.
Yes, good afternoon, Chair. Present.
John, please, we can't see your face. Is there any reason we cannot see your face? Your camera is not turned on?
Sorry, apologize.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay. Residents objecting. We have with us Michael. Michael Hudson. Is Michael here?
No, Chair.
Okay. We have Jan Parasat. Jan.
Good evening, Chair.
Okay.
I'm here.
Thank you. And you are representing Lawrence.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Yeah. We have Henry here, local residents, and also representing Aris. Henry.
Good evening, Chair.
Thank
Right
you. Yeah. You have Laura. Laura?
Chair Henry's representing Laura and Eris.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, we have Charlotte. Charlotte is Dexter is Barclay Road Conservative Area Neighborhood Watch representing. She are representing nearly 19 people. You are representing Amanda. Huh? Charlotte?
Oh, yeah, yes, that's fine. Just read them out. That's fine.
Okay, you are representing Sarah, Robert, Lucia, John, Graham, Karina, Christina, Samutra, Catherine, Trash, and Meek, Elaine, Audrey, Maria, James, Brian, Jonathan, and Laura again. So it looks like two people are representing Laura here.
Yeah, may I just comment? So that was changed this afternoon. Henry Blomfeld is representing Laura.
Okay.
And Eris. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. We have ward councillor here. We have Sam Kelly representing Lydia Panther, and Sam has another meeting to attend. So he will speak quickly and he will go because he has another meeting to attend. Councillor Kelly, are you here? Yes.
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Now, procedure. Before we consider this application today, may I confirm that in addition to the main agenda, supplementary agenda A, B, and C was published on the 15th, 21st, and 22nd of July, 2026. I will quickly explain the procedure the committee will follow. We will have with us the following. The licensing officer will introduce the application, the objector, finally the premises license holder, representatives. Usually, each party will address committee for a maximum of 5 minutes. Following the representation by all parties, the committee will then ask questions of any party or other person present at the hearing, except committee members. No party has the right to ask questions to any other party at any time at this hearing, except the committee members. Following the presentation and questioning, each party will be allowed to maximum of 3 minutes to sum up their cases or representation. The committee will then retire for deliberation. Upon its return, I will announce committee's decision. There are a considerable number of speakers tonight. The committee have read all your written representation before this meeting. It will be appreciated by all parties if you could summarize your concerns, avoid repetition or any of other speakers, and be as concise as possible. Please, no repetition. We have read all your council papers. You have read all the papers you have sent. Please be as concise as possible. Now we move on to presenting officer. Can I ask the presenting officer, Christiana, to introduce this application?
Thank you, Chair. On the 14th of April 2026, the Licensing Authority received an application for a new premises license in respect of the premises known as Select Chicken, located on the ground floor at 349 North End Road. The application requested late night refreshment both indoors and outdoors, Sunday to Thursday 11 p.m. to midnight, and Friday and Saturday 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Opening hours proposed were Sunday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to midnight, and Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. A copy of the application can be seen at Appendix 1 of the committee report. On the 1st of May, following correspondence with the police, the applicant agreed to add 18 conditions to the license if granted, as seen at pages 5 to 7 of the report, and amend the opening hours. The agreement proposes that the premises be closed to walk-in customers from midnight every day. However, on Fridays and Saturdays, the premises would be permitted to trade as a takeaway service only until 1 a.m. A copy of this correspondence can be seen at Appendix 2. During the consultation period, the licensing section received 48 objections from interested parties as listed on page 8 of the committee report. A copy of the representations can be viewed between Appendix 4 to 10. A copy of the applicant's response to the concerns raised in the representations was received on the 30th of May and can be viewed in Appendix 11. On the 26th of June, the licensing service received comments from the planning team regarding the premises planning permission, which can be viewed in Appendix 12. On the 8th of July 2026, the licensing team the licensing team informed the objectives of the amended hours and conditions agreed. A copy of the correspondence and responses can be seen at Appendix 13. Lastly, I can confirm that in addition to the main agenda, supplementary agendas A, B, and C were published and circulated to all interested parties prior to tonight's hearing. I have no further comments at this time, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Now we go to responsible authorities. We have Adrian, the licensing officer, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. I can confirm that the licensing authority would like to maintain its representation against this application, mainly on the grounds that granting this licence would undermine the following licensing objectives: the prevention of public nuisance and the prevention of crime and disorder. Whilst we acknowledge and welcome the applicant's engagement with responsible authorities, including the amendment of the application to reduce the hours sought for late night refreshment, we still have serious concerns with the scope of the application. The premises is located in an area where the council is aware of ongoing concerns relating to late night noise, antisocial behaviour, street congregation and disturbance to local residents. These concerns are reflected in the resident objections you will have seen and which we've received in response to this application. The volume and detail of these representations gives a very good indication of the type of problems residents are experiencing on an ongoing basis. The licensing authority would also invite the subcommittee to have particular regard to the council's statement of licensing policy, and in particular policy 1, which requires applicants to identify local risks and demonstrate appropriate measures to mitigate them. At this stage, we are not satisfied that sufficient evidence has been provided by the applicant to show how the issues in this locality will be effectively managed. We would also ask the committee to have regard to policy 3, which recognises that later trading hours can increase the risk of public nuisance, antisocial behaviour and crime and disorder, particularly in sensitive locations. And furthermore, policy 11, which recognises the need to protect residents from unreasonable disturbance and to ensure that licensed activities do not adversely affect residential amenity. One of our principal concerns is that permitting late night refreshment until midnight is likely to increase customer footfall, waiting and gathering outside the premises, arrivals and departures, and delivery activity, and the general street noise at a time when residents would reasonably expect disturbance to be reducing. Whilst the applicant has offered measures such as CCTV, staff training and incident logs, these do not, in our opinion, directly address the broader concerns of additional late night activity taking place outside the premises and beyond the licence holder's immediate control. Taking all of these matters into account and having particular regard to the nature of the locality, the resident and the volume of resident objections received, and the lack of convincing evidence at this stage that the operation will not add to these existing problems, the licensing authority remains of the view that the licensing objectives would not be adequately promoted if this license was granted. We would therefore respectfully invite the subcommittee to refuse the application this evening. However, should members be minded to grant the licence, we would ask that consideration be given to potentially reducing the terminal hour further for late night refreshment and possibly imposing additional conditions, however considered necessary and proportionate to promote the objectives. Thank you, Chair. I don't have any other comments at this stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. I'm going to ask Councillor Kelly to speak next because he has a meeting to attend. Okay, so Councillor Kelly.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'd also like to give apologies on behalf of Lydia and Genevieve, who are also at the meeting that I need to dash off to. So apologies from all of us for this, but wanted to be here to note that residents in Walham Green have consistently raised concerns about late night food provision and the public nuisance that this creates, particularly within this application: noise from customers gathering outside, groups passing through in the early hours, and especially the comings and goings of delivery drivers all contribute to a significant disturbance. And I do not believe the application or the amendments adequately addresses or mitigates these impacts. It is important to note that this is a residential area where residents don't have a choice of just avoiding the area if they need to get to their house, as well as the fact that this is an area where it could directly border on to some residents' houses. So, for example, noting the amendments, I note that reporting delivery drivers to the various authorities would be welcome, but it is important to note that the application notes that there's no full control over these delivery drivers, which can often be in conversation, waiting outside, and can be speaking quite loud, can often be leaving their vehicles idling as well. And all of this does create a nuisance for the residents. As well as this, it can be quite intimidating late at night, walking past large groups of people. As well as this, there is increased risk of litter from customers when finished with their food and discarding what it was given out in. Often they'll be late night coming. They'll be coming in later in the night from pubs or different areas, and maybe a bit more careless than during the day, which is also a large risk. I promised I would keep it brief, so that's all that I have to say. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Councillor, and good luck for your meeting this evening. Yeah. Can I ask John Garcia, Noise and Nuisance? You have 5 minutes to address the committee.
Thank you, Chair. The Environmental Protection Team Noise and Nuisance has maintained its representation against these applications on the grounds of prevention of public nuisance licensing objective. Whilst we acknowledge that the applicant has amended the operating hours and agreed additional conditions with the Metropolitan Police, those changes do not address our primary concern regarding the potential for noise disturbance to nearby residents. The premises are situated within a mixed residential and commercial area. There are residential properties above, opposite, and behind the premises. This means that residents are particularly sensitive to noise arising from late-night commercial delivery. The application seeks trading beyond the operating hours of neighboring businesses in this section of Northern Road. The Environmental Protection Team is concerned that later trading is likely to generate additional noise from customer arrivals, dispersal, delivery drivers, vehicle movements, and general activity during times when background noise levels are lower and residents are more likely to be resting or sleeping. Our concern is not limited to noise from within the premises itself, but from the activity associated with the use of the premises during the later hours being solved. Having considered the location and surrounding residential accommodations, council estate, private houses, and flats, our team remains of the view that granting the application as requested would create a risk of public nuisance for nearby residents. For those reasons, we respectfully ask the subcommittee to give considerable weight to our representation when determining the application. Thank you very much. That is all for us.
Thank you so much. I'm going to move to residents. We have Michael. He's not here. Okay, so we have Jan. Jan, you are here, and you are representing Lauren. So you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
I am myself a resident of Northern Road, but I'm going to start with representing Lawrence, my neighbor who lives immediately next to 349 Northern Road and cannot attend today. We both object on the grounds of the licensing objectives, the prevention of public nuisance, the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, and because so many families with young children live above these shops, the protection of children from harm. If members take one thing from this evening, is that every problem we describe gets worse as the night goes on, and that's exactly what this application asks for. It's continued trading after 11 p.m. So the representation of Lawrence is on pages 105 and and 6 of the agenda pack. He lives with his wife and 1-year-old son directly adjacent to the premises. And there is a rear alleyway that is the sole means of access to and from his home. I spoke with him this week, and he was very clear about what troubles his family most. He sees fast food rubbish dumped and left in the alleyway. He has seen instances of drug use in the alleyway, people gathering there. He suffers from the noise and the mess they make and leave behind. And he told me the later it gets, the worse it is. So these are mostly evening and nighttime problems. And his written representation also raises noise and vibration from the premises air extraction system, which sits close to one of his bedroom windows and has previously caused significant disturbance. He also mentions he has an open case with the local LET team, reference 2104, concerning the antisocial behavior. And neither he or I have been able to obtain an update on that case, so I cannot report its current status, but the case exists and no effective resolution has yet been achieved. May I ask the committee to turn to supplementary agenda B? At page 10, you will see the whole red brick Victorian terrace where Select Chicken is. And you can see that there are a lot of residential flats directly above and beside the premises. At page 6 to 8, there are photographs that my neighbor took, and it shows the conditions of the alleyway he shares with 349 Northern Road. And we can see fast food litter, we can see some human excrement as well. It's quite terrible, and no resident should have to endure this sort of situation, let alone when they have a 1-year-old child. So on his behalf, I ask the committee to refuse the application. On my side, as I said, I live on Northern Road itself. I live about 350 meters from Select Chicken. And I also live above a takeaway and next to another takeaway. So while I do not share a wall with the applicant, I know firsthand every day and every night exactly what this application would mean. And so on my side, I suffer from the noise from delivery mopeds arriving and idling, riders congregating outside, talking on speakerphone. There's extraction vents running, sometimes food odors. We have litter left on the street. We have vibrations as well from the vents. We have delivery trucks, rubbish trucks, and I have also witnessed drug use as well in my own alleyway. And things do get worse at night. And I would like to remind the committee that it's a very densely residential area, and the noise is not really a problem during the day. And I do enjoy living in a busy area, but at night, all residents deserve to be able to sleep quietly and peacefully. So for these reasons, I would ask the committee to refuse the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you so much. We have Henry. Henry, you're representing 3 people. You're representing Eris and representing Laura. So you have 15 minutes to speak.
Thank you, Chair. I'll try not use all 15 minutes and bore everyone.
Thank you.
So, yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Henry Blomfield. I live on Pius Road, close to the premises. So Pius Road adjoins North End Road, so I'm very much aware of the area. And yeah, I'm close to the premises, 349 North End Road. Professionally, I work in real estate acquisition, so I spend a lot of my time assessing the narratives behind real estate acquisition deals and the data behind that. So I'm used to kind of questioning that and then taking it to like investment committee. So I'd say it's kind of similar to what we're doing here in a way. Obviously, this is a bit more distilled. So having reviewed the papers and the evidence before the committee, I'd like to make a number of brief points. And those brief points circle around a central question, which is whether the evidence before the committee demonstrates that granting this application would continue to promote the licensing objectives, particularly prevention of public nuisance and the prevention of crime and disorder. So those premises, and hint, hint, I come to the conclusion that no, it would not promote those licensing objectives. So those points, just to run through them quickly, would be what the council's evidence, what that evidence tells us, whether there's any other evidence that contradicts it, the licensing authority's own assessment, and the impact on residents in this residential area. So to start with the council's own evidence, so I refer the committee to Supplemental B, starting at page 31. My Fulham neighbour, Mrs. Dexter, has gone into detail about the Hammersmith and Fulham's simplex modelling on page 31, or from page 31 to page 33, as well as pages 39 to 42, and finally point E, which I believe starts at page 43. So the council developed the simplex model, using the simplex methodology, which uses data both from the council and the Metropolitan Police. So, strong sources. And that kind of data identifies streets experiencing particularly high levels of nuisance, crime, and environmental issues. What gives me confidence in that methodology is that during consultation, the council identified an issue with part of the underlying data, corrected it, and reran the model before relying on the results. So from my perspective, as someone who works with quantitative models, that strengthens my confidence in the integrity of the methodology, because people have reviewed it, they've tried to break the model, they tested it, they found something that they disagree with, they fixed it before then actually relying on that methodology. So it seems robust to me, and the data behind it, more importantly, is literally from the council and the Metropolitan Police. So the findings of that data, that model, is astounding. So out of approximately 1,200 publicly maintained streets in the London borough of Hammersmith and Fulham, North End Road was identified as one of just 24 heavily impacted streets. So in other words, around 2% of the borough's streets account for a disproportionately high level of environmental nuisance, antisocial behaviour, litter, and recorded crime. So this isn't normal distribution. So the 24 streets, including North End Road, suffer 38% of all environmental nuisance complaints across the borough, nearly 37% of all antisocial behaviour call-outs borough-wide, 30% of all litter and detritus complaints borough-wide, and just under 1/3, or 33%, of all documented crime in Hammersmith and Fulham. So roughly 1/3 of crime and reported crime and nuisance in just 2% of streets, of which North End Road is included. That is significant, and as a resident, you can feel that just living around it, and it gets particularly bad at night, which is the premise of this committee's meeting. So that is the objective baseline against which this licensing application is being considered tonight. So has anything materially changed? So having reviewed the papers before the committee, I haven't seen any new evidence suggesting that those underlying pressures have materially reduced since North End Road was identified, as one of the council's most heavily impacted streets. I also note that the cabinet approval for a programme using these outcomes runs to the end of 2027, and I'm told it is planned that it is highly likely that it would continue long beyond 2027. If that baseline has not demonstrably improved, I respectfully suggest that the committee should ask whether there is a persuasive evidential basis for extending the hours of the premises at 349 North End Road. So I now refer the committee to Supplemental C, pages 3 to 6. This is the Hammersmith and Fulham's Licensing Authority's objection to the application, elaborating detailed reasoning to the Hammersmith and Fulham Licensing Committee tonight. So slightly repeating here what Ms. Overton said, but the conclusion is clear. The licensing authority is not satisfied. So this is a quote, that I quote, "The licensing authority is not satisfied that the operating schedule contains sufficient evidence or site-specific controls to demonstrate that the licensing objectives will be promoted." That's come directly from the council's own licensing authority. So that should be a really significant consideration, I would assume. The licensing authority explains that while measures such as we've talked about the CCTV and staff training, etc., and how that's not really quite good enough. So finally, I'd like to talk about the impact on residents. So I'd like to briefly remind the committee that this is a densely residential area. It's a residential village with people living above the commercial premises around the surrounding streets, which is my case. For those residents, even relatively modest increases in late night activity can have a direct impact on their ability to enjoy their homes free from public nuisance. So, we need to get our sleep. We're hardworking taxpayers, and it's not ideal for us to, have our sleep interrupted so that, you could argue, drunkards at 1 a.m. can get their chicken, in my opinion. So to conclude, this isn't a criticism of the applicant personally, but my concern is simply that the evidence before the committee does not demonstrate that the existing pressures on North End Road, and especially the residential village portion of it, materially changed, nor does it demonstrate that the proposed mitigation measures are sufficient to address the risks associated with later trading in a location that the council has already identified as one of the borough's most negatively, heavily impacted streets. The crime, antisocial behaviour, litter, including fly tipping, and environmental nuisance complaints. Ultimately, I respectfully suggest that the evidence before the committee does not provide a persuasive basis for concluding that granting this application would promote the licensing objectives. For those reasons, I respectfully invite the committee to refuse the application. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Henry Broomfield. Now we go to Charlotte. What happened? Sorry. Charlotte, you have 90 minutes. You are representing Amanda, Sarah, Robert, Lucia, John, Graham, Karina, Christina, Samutra, Catherine, Trish, and Nick, Elaine, Adria, Maria, James, Brian, and Jonathan. So you have 90 minutes for your presentation.
Thank you, Chair. Well, from recent hearing that I won't be taking 90 minutes. And I also want to share that my printer broke down. So I'm basically speaking from a few pieces of things that printed out, but it's all in my head. So I just ask you, it might be a bit sporadic what I'm going to say, but I'll keep it short and sweet.
Okay.
I did want to start just carrying on from what Henry was saying. There's a quote from our fearless leader, Councillor Cowan, when he was introducing the Public Space Protection Order this past February 26, And that's in your pack, and you've seen that and read that, and you're aware of it anyway.
Mhm.
And it's something that gives the police a little bit more power to kind of stop people in their tracks when they're urinating or whatever, as well as the let people, and they can find them immediately if the people have ID on them, and there are all sorts of things. But the intent is there of that PSPO, Public Space Protection Order. And it also shows, because it's a borough-wide public space protection order, it shows, unfortunately, the gravitas and the gravity of the problems that you as councillors are trying to help us as residents with. So we appreciate that very much. And it runs for 3 years. It's very new now. At our recent ward panel meeting, interestingly enough, the police were not even aware of it. So we're glad that we've been telling them about that, and we'll be telling them next week on Monday when we have another ward panel meeting. So, but what Councillor Cowan, the leader, said when he introduced this was the following quote: "Everyone should feel safe to walk down their own street or pop out to the high street, day or night." Local businesses told us that antisocial behavior was sometimes driving customers away from the high street. And there are other quotes on the H&F website and in media and so on. But I just thought that kind of, really put into focus what we're talking about tonight here about this residential village in North End Road and the residents and what they need to be doing, and the businesses and what they need to be doing, and trying to find a way to work together, obviously. My second point, I did have a few points written down by hand, so that's why I have them. In Supplemental C on page 7, Mr. Scolding, so our neighbor, John Scolding, he can't be with us tonight because he's on a huge legal case between here and New York, and the deadline is New York City midnight, which of course is 5 hours ahead. So I think he'll be not going to bed at 6 a.m. actually. Anyway, he sent his apologies, as you know, and I'm representing him. Anyway, he stated clearly at page 7 that the legal position regarding evidence submitted tonight. So you've read that and you know about that. There is something I do want to correct there on page 8 of his submission. He incorrectly wrote that Select Kitchen is 30 to 50 meters from 312 to 314 North End Road, which is another premises. And actually it's about 150 meters. So that was some kind of typo or whatever it was. Not that it makes too much difference, but it's not just 50 meters, it's 150 meters. But that's a quick 3-minute walk, and that, so it's just, it's up the road. So you read everything else that he talked about, but I did want to point out the following. I have to find my other scribbles, excuse me. In the agenda pack, wait a minute, just give me 1 second. Sorry. Yes, in the agenda pack on page 8, under 4.1 enforcement history, you'll see one line that mentions that a warning letter was sent or given to the applicant tonight. And I'd like you to just think about that one line, and then think about Mr. Scolding's representation, where he includes in supplemental C, again, that's where all of his stuff is, supplemental C. On page 13, he includes his correspondence on page 15 with the licensing authority about an incident at Select Kitchen. I won't go into it, you've read about it. He was able to buy chicken, he got a receipt. It was very late at night, and as you know, on Google, the hours were far beyond 2300. In fact, they were forever. Let's put it that way. So, and then you see on page 13 of Supplemental C, the correspondence from another person from the licensing department about how they've dealt with this. But I really would like all of us to concentrate on the fact that in the agenda pack, there's one sentence that says, you know, a warning letter was given or something. But there's a whole story behind this. And this is just two incidences of Mr. Scolding witnessing this situation. I'm trying to be a bit not so blunt, yeah? But you know what I'm talking about. So that concerns us as residents. It really concerns us because we don't feel that you would have had the information if Mr. Scolding hadn't explained this and witnessed and experienced this place being open, etc. Yeah, so that concerns us, and we would like to ask the committee to, well, do something about that. But perhaps we should write to you about that. It's never clear how we can get more traction forward. But this really, really concerned several of us. Okay, so then I'd like to move on to Sarah Chambers, who's the head of the ward panel. So the ward panels are under the Metropolitan Police, as you know. And we have a very active ward panel here in Walham Green Ward. And in the agenda pack on page 39, that's her representation, which you've read. As you know, the crime data sort of lags, and we're not able to get really substantial crime data. Now, we could get crime data, or the licensing authority could get the crime data for you for every hearing, because we see that in I follow these things in Westminster, Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, etc. And that very drilled down crime data is brought to every hearing. So again, I don't think, we don't think you're getting the right information. But anyway, even she, who is vetted with the police and so on, she can't get any more crime data than what we all can see on the, the Met website. So that's something, because I know a few years ago, Councillor Harcourt, who's here tonight, he was asking about where are the police and where's their kind of data. And he said he wanted that type of thing at every hearing. And that hasn't happened. And that was 3 years ago. So again, that might be something that we could correspond with you about and come to some, some kind of way of doing that, because we know it's possible. And we know it's possible from the famous appeal, because suddenly we had all this data of all these problems at a certain address very close to Select Kitchen. Okay, she corrected a small thing again. She had different, Settlecombs Road, which is on the corner, is much closer than she had said. So she corrected that in something else, in another supplemental. She also put in a lot of pictures, and it's important for you to know, and you know this from the evidence, that there's the thing you don't know is there's no planning permission or building control for that flue that has been put up. So people like Lawrence, who lives at 47, who's an architect, a young architect, he can afford to live, where he lives, let's put it that way. He has no confidence in a flue that goes up that doesn't have planning or building control or anything. So that's quite unfortunate. But it's something that, of course, it's not licensing, but it is. It's part of the license. If it became a licensed premises, it's part of its premises, and then it doesn't have, somebody decided to throw up a flue. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I also want to say that a few weeks ago, several of us were at a police meeting with our MP, and I saw Councillor Holder, and she spoke to me. And she reminded me that a couple of years ago, we had another application here that was 6 shops up from Select Kitchen. And she attended that hearing on her behalf as a counselor, of course, and on the then Councillor Ben Coleman, who's now, of course, our MP, on his behalf. And her whole concern was the people across from this terrace, so across from Select Chicken and across from the shops, because
Charlotte, one minute, please. Can you stick to this, what is happening with Select? Don't ask MP Coleman, don't ask about Mayor. Please, can you stick on this Select Chicken? What is happening? Why are you objecting? Why those people are objecting, please? Can we stick to that?
Yes, well, I was just about to tell you. Okay, I'll use the word objecting more. I'm objecting because it's across from the Clem Attlee Court, and hundreds of people live facing that court, which you can see from the pictures that we sent to you. It's a very long terrace.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you that even 3 years ago, Councillor Holder herself was very concerned enough to come to a meeting like this for something that was just up the road, now, 6 shops up the road, and saying, I don't want these residents seeing people, seeing congregation late at night, seeing drug deals, seeing helium balloons, etc. So I'm giving you that as evidence from me about exactly Select Kitchen, which is across from this from Clem Attlee Court. That's perfect evidence to give to you and to think about. Or do you disagree?
Okay, carry on, please.
Okay, thank you very much. I have to say the reason to have a hearing is to hear people out. Otherwise, the Licensing Act 2003 wouldn't have used hearings. Because if everything is just read, then what's there for us to say?
Okay, Charlotte, come on. Now go on. Thank you. Let's hear all your evidence, please.
Okay, so basically we've found the evidence that we put in this pack, and my very astute neighbor, Henry, was able to explain it to you in statistical expertise detail. And we are hoping that you accept this evidence and that you see that this is the evidence that we need to start considering exactly what is happening and what could therefore happen in North End Road. And we've been struggling I say residents have been struggling for a long time. And now we've found the exact evidence that you as the committee needs. And it's your evidence. That's the best part of it. It's not some third party out there. It's about real crime, real ASB reports, real nuisance from people like John Garcia, environmental noise and nuisance and so on, and fly tipping, and all of these statistics have been pulled together, and they've now been explained to you by a statistician, and these need to be used as part of your decision tonight. And that's really, the gist of it.
Okay.
And I don't understand why it is that when we speak, you constantly want us to not speak. Please give us, the ability to defend what we are suggesting to you with evidence. A lot of these hearings, people bring no evidence. They just bring complaints. We're bringing live evidence to you. And that's our point tonight. And we care very much about this residential village area of North End Road. And we don't want it to become something worse. We want it to become something better. And North End Road, Fulham Road, Wandsworth Bridge Road, they're part of these streets that have been named as the 24 streets that have the worst problems in this borough. And I want to also say, especially to Councillor Harcourt, we totally appreciate how much you have done for us, cleaning the streets, having systems, everything that's done several times a day and at night on North End Road. We absolutely appreciate it. But the effort that's needed and the funding that's needed for that, we also appreciate. And it shows the severity of the problem. And therefore, we obviously are saying now we have the evidence. We know where to get more evidence for you for the future. And with this evidence, it becomes very clear that hours after 2300, which you now have to take into consideration based on S182 1.19, you have to take the local plan. You must have regard for, which is almost a command of the law, for the local plan. And the local plan at TCL 5 and TCL 6, which we've put into the pack, clearly states that 2300 is the limit because of noise nuisance and other problems, environmental problems that simply can't be contained unless things slow down. So I thank you for your attention tonight. I'm sorry that my printer broke. And I hope that what we've done tonight is turn a big corner in these hearings and brought to you the type of evidence that actually in other boroughs are brought by the licensing authority. But it seems to be residents have to do this at the moment. So that's what we're doing. And we're spending a huge amount of effort, time, resource, money doing exactly that, because we want this corner of Fulham to thrive. We want it to thrive and we need it to thrive. And we believe very strongly what Councillor Cowan says, and I won't quote him, but he talks a lot about good businesses. And unfortunately, this one probably doesn't fit the category. And we have the evidence for that tonight as well. So please regard the evidence and reject the application for all the people who took time to write in, and for the people that I'm representing, most of them on holiday, and all the people that John was representing, John Scolding. And we also thank new people here tonight who have taken time to explain to you through their expertise what we are trying to do, what we're trying to explain to you through evidence of the council itself. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We have our advisor here to say something. Sophia?
Hi, Chair. Chair, am I able to address Ms. Dexter? Is that okay, Chair?
We can hear you.
Okay, thanks. I just want to clarify something to Ms. Dexter. Is that okay?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Hi, Ms. Dexter. Thank you very much for your objection and for providing all your evidence. I just want to clarify what Chair was saying. You're absolutely valid to give your evidence, and everything is, all of the objections are read, all of the papers are read. The Chair was merely clarifying to keep everything, all of your objections and what you want to say efficient, as efficient as possible, essentially. Because if we stray into other decisions that were made, they won't be deciding on this case purely on its merits. So we appreciate that your printer was broken, and that's absolutely fine. But that's all the Chair was trying to do.
Well, no, there's a big point there. When decisions are made in previous, for previous applications, those are relevant legally.
They are not precedents.
I didn't use that word, and I would never dare use that word. Thank you very much. I said relevant. They are materially relevant in most cases, but I'll use the word relevant.
Okay, you can make that submission. It's better if we sort of move on, because if we stick to it for too long, then everyone has sort of.
Well, there's not too many other people to speak, but I did not use the word precedent.
No, you didn't. That's fine.
No,
I'm not saying that you did.
You did. So that's a false assumption that you've made there.
I didn't say that you did. But
okay,
anyway,
you're telling me that the Chair wanted me to be more efficient than I was being, And what else are you telling me, please? It's very important that I write it down.
That the members are fully aware of the Licensing Act 2003.
Yes, of course, we're supposed to, you know, when we say something, we base it on something, and so then we use the reference. Are you saying we shouldn't reference the Licensing Act anymore?
I'm not saying anything. You suggested that the chair was trying to stop you from talking, which she didn't. That's all I'm saying.
She did interrupt me and told me,
and she
didn't want to hear this and that, and I told her why it was relevant.
That's fine, and the members will take all of what you said into consideration. She was just essentially showing you what is relevant and what is not relevant. So but
what
they will
was
take
not
everything.
relevant?
That's not up to me. That's up to the members. And if they want to ask you questions, they will ask you questions now into the next section.
I know how these hearings work, madam. I know exactly how they work.
Okay, please, let's move on. Thank you so much, our advisor. Thank you, Charlotte. We had everybody's comment. Thank you. Can we have the applicants? Applicant, you have Ahmed, Sultana, and
Yes.
you have an hour, 35 minutes to present your case.
Thank you, Chair, and a member of the License Committee. Thank you for considering my application. I respectfully ask the community to significant step I have taken to promote the license objective and addresses the concern raised during the consultation process. What our main purpose is, I'm seeking permission to provide late night refreshment until 12 midnight, 7 days a week. My original decision, it was including delivery until 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. However, I have voluntarily withdrawn that request. I now seek midnight only every day to reduce any potential impact on nearby residents. So we work very closely with Metropolitan Police and accept every operating conditions they request, including CCTV, staff training, incident logs, customer disposal, delivery driver management, and noise control. Following this agreement to the police confirmed they had no objection to my applications. The London Fire Brigade also confirmed that they had no objection. What we understand the concerns expressed by the local residents regarding public news. I respect those concerns and have introduced management measures, including comprehensive CCTV, documented staff training, so customer management procedure, delivery driver controls, obviously commercial waste. Obviously, they are a main concern of the littering, which Charlotte has mentioned on page 7. But just to be mentioned, those littering, if you look on the picture, they are from KFC and Chicken Hub. However, we do have a concern of this littering. We're not denying it. There is, but that has nothing to do with us. Select Chicken, we're a different brand, and that's different brand. They are Chicken Hub and KFC. If you look on the pictures, which was shared on the agenda B. So I will keep this as a short, like what we are encouraging at this stage, that from 10 o'clock we are only allowing customer to take away the stuff for this. However, we can do it till 11, but we are encouraging customer to not eat in our restaurant and do the takeaway because of this residential concern, to make it more smoother for them. So we request the community that we are voluntarily withdrawing from 1 a.m., which we requested on Saturday and Friday for delivery. However, we want to withdraw it. We just want a 1 extra hour from 7 days. And the reason we ask for this or 1 hour extra is that it's food wasted from us. A lot of food are being wasted, and it's not good for environmental as well, as we are preparing fresh food for the customer. Like, for example, in 10 o'clock, if we prepare a fresh food, and that food sometimes can remain till 11 o'clock or after 11 and the customer come up. We want just a serving, and plus we need 1 extra hour for the cleaning purposes to give for the hygienic reasons. And those are our main agenda for that one. And I will just finalize my whole thing that I will request from the chair member community to grant a license for a 1 hour, 7 days a week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Can I ask committee members to ask questions of any party about the application and the issues that has been raised at this hearing in relation to 4 licensing objectives? 1, prevention of crime and disorder. 2, public safety. 3, prevention of public nuisance. 4, protection of children from harm. So we have Councillor Wesley Harcourt.
Thank you, Chair. I'm afraid, despite the number of these committees that I've sat on, I am left confused at the moment as to what the actual application is and the times, etc. I saw the original application and the reduced number of hours, etc. And then there's going to be delivery only, and I'm now hearing there seems to be no delivery only. So I need to be clear exactly what is being applied for as the first point. I think that needs clarification.
And that question goes to Christina?
It goes to Christina and also to Mr. Sultan as well, both of them, because obviously one person is saying something, but, you know, we also have an application in front of us, which is, you know, documented, and we need to be clear in both of them that they read the same.
It's okay, Chair. Would it be possible to go first and just clarify what's on the application, and then possibly the applicant, if he has any changes that he wants to make today, he's welcome to do so. But if I clarify first what we have in our committee papers, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. So according to the information that we've received prior to tonight's hearing, on the 1st of May, there was an agreement made with the police licensing team. And the agreement proposes that the premises would be closed to walk-in customers from midnight, that's Monday to Sunday. And then on Fridays and Saturdays, the premises would be permitted to trade as a takeaway service only until 1 a.m. So then between midnight to 1 a.m., there would continue to be a takeaway service. Within this period, there will be no walk-in customers. That's the information that we have on the committee papers, and that what was circulated to us between the applicant and the police.
Confusing.
Okay, Mr. Sultan, is that your understanding of it, or have there been any changes since then?
Yes, sir. Basically, on the 8th of July, I have sent the updated documents to the council of and attached documents of the staff training, my first mile contract, staff training, the policies, and I have mentioned on that one, which what we have done before, sir, is we apply for Monday to Thursday, 12 o'clock, and Friday, Saturday from 11 to 1 o'clock. However, the police has objection on us. So they told me that if you agree with this hours, which 12 o'clock only for the customer, and Saturday, Sunday, we will only allow take out, not eating. So I told him I have no objections, and we agree on the hours by the hours and what I have to do. However, still I have withdraw. Means when I say withdraw, I do not need it till 1 p.m. because Friday and Saturday is just only one day, and we don't want disturbance on the local residents. We have concerns. What we need at this stage now, because on the 8th of July, which we send all the documents to the council, we mentioned that we wanted only just the 1 hour from 11 to 12 o'clock. We have read the objections, we have read the concern of the things. Some of them were not related to us, as mentioned before. But however, we do have a concern from the news. And what we ask from this community is just to, again, we wanted 7 days from Monday to Sunday. Till 11 we are open, but we want it till 12 o'clock. And however, just not to be repeated, we encourage our customer from 10 o'clock to not eat on the shop. However, we are allowed to open till 11, but we still encouraging customer to not eat on the shop, and we fold down the tables, the sofas on the table to look like that we are closed. And it's just a matter of 1 hour we are asking for. Only reason is that we have a food lifted, we require a cleaning, and the staff obviously can't sometimes manage it. And I'm aware from the Fulham area. Fulham area is mostly quiet after 9 o'clock. We hardly have a customer after 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. We took over this businesses. However, there were a lot of complaints there, but we took over this businesses recently. Those complaints has nothing to do with us, but our experience says with the owner that Fulham shop in Fulham, the area hardly have a customer. And the only reason we want this 1 hour is for the cleaning, environmental reason, not to waste the food. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I think that's just about clarified things on that. While we're talking about that extra hour, again, Mr. Sultan, you're talking about deliveries, presumably. They're done by what? By moped,
Yes.
bike, whatever?
Yeah, yes, the deliveries. However, we can promise the council and the community that there was one thing mentioned, which obviously I'm keep forward and I write it down in our Google page. I believe someone has edited. If you go to any Google page, for example, I go to any other shop, I can make that one 24 online. I don't know who done it. We're not open 24 hour. What I can promise is from 11 o'clock, we will stop delivery. We will put a pause on Just Eat, Deliveroo, and Uber in the app by saying we're closing 11 or 11:30. Means we will be not taking order like Uber usually send us order 40 minutes before, like 30 minutes before. If I post down 11 o'clock, we will be not taking any Deliveroo. And for takeaways customer only, and I don't think so that 1 hour can affect the news.
Okay. Now, are the delivery bikes, are they electric or are they petrol, diesel? What are they?
Mostly electric bikes, sir. Mostly electric. As you are aware that electric bikes are more cheaper, reliable, and affordable to do delivery. And our experience says on there that most of the driver there are on electric bikes, sir.
Okay. And what do you do? I mean, obviously, one of the issues that's been raised, we've heard from the residents tonight and in all the papers that have been sent round, that one of the issues happens to be delivery drivers hanging around, etc., etc. Do you provide, are they able to come and sit in your premises while they're waiting to collect deliveries?
So first off, as I say that any delivery, they will be managed by the staff, as we train them with when we have this license. They will be told if the driver has non-electric car which has a voice on it to close down the back and to give them food smoothly and to give them the food quietly. However, if any driver, has not compliance with our policy, we will ban them from the shop permanently, and we will inform Deliveroo, Uber, and these things to take serious action to avoid public nuisance. And as I promised that if there is any objection of this Deliveroo noise, we'll be shutting down 11 o'clock. That 1 hour has always, I keep mentioning, has required us only for the cleaning and any food to be wasted. We hardly get any delivery or any customer after 11, sir. And that's why I reduce my hours from 1 on the Saturday and Friday. I believe I made application. Even we were agree with the police that okay, fair enough, you can have that 1 hours for the takeaway only for delivery. But I have withdraw it on the 8th of July, submit a new statement to the council.
Yeah, one of as I originally asked was about drivers and congregating outside, etc., talking and so on amongst themselves, and in some cases relieving themselves, etc. You obviously have a toilet. I've seen the plan of your building. Are they able to come and sit inside while they wait to pick up the delivery, and if necessary, use the toilet?
Absolutely, no objection.
Okay. Don't mean to be picking on you by any means, but as I've been asking questions to yourself, I'm going to continue. You're the manager, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And you've also provided the training.
Yes, sir.
Are you a qualified trainer?
Yes, sir.
What qualifications?
We've done a food safety certificate, like we've been issued by online, as in food safety, which is issued from the council and food safety department. And I have experience on the chicken shop. Like I used to work in Chicken Cottage, Chicken Valley, and mostly like select. This is one of the another my job which I'm doing. But experience wise, I have a good experience in the food industry.
Yeah, it's just when you talk in there about training staff on licensing and licensing conditions and such like, that's based on experience rather than actual training or qualifications that you possess yourself.
Both of them, sir. Like I have experience, plus I have done a training courses online, and I give my staff to do courses like the food safety, hygienic level 1, level 2, level 3.
So basically, you're just passing on your experience and knowledge. Is that correct? Or do you have an actual designed training course that you are providing?
No. Yes. So basically, when I say I train them or I give them the training, means whatever the level 1, level 2, level 3 for the food safety courses, which they are required to do it. Any staff who been hired by the Select Chicken, or any experience of obviously between my one, I share them personally with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have the individual members of staff done the food safety training?
Yes,
or just what you've helped them with?
Yes, they've done the training, sir. We require anyone to do the training.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to move on to another issue, which is about enforcement. Who's going to be that? Christina, I believe, is it?
I can help with that, Councillor.
Or Adrian, perhaps, one of the other, whoever. Is there only that one incident? Because it's quite interesting to read the various submissions where there's also evidence of other occasions when there's been late night food selling beyond the 11 o'clock terminal hour.
I mean, that's the incident that we were able to issue a warning letter for, because the resident had provided a receipt and obviously been in there and provided some commentary on what happened. Within that warning letter, we also mentioned, because there was two incidents, there was basically one on the 9th of May, which the resident very kindly made us aware of and gave us, provided a receipt. And then there was another incident on the 29th of May where noise officers visited the premises and saw cooked food on display and saw customers leaving with food. The issue that we had with that is that we didn't think the evidence was robust enough, especially from the noise and nuisance point of view, because they didn't actually see cash changing hands. So we decided with both of those things, the evidence from the resident and the evidence from the noise team, that we would amalgamate those two things and then send them a warning letter for that, what we believe is an offence. We just have to obviously be very careful that whatever information we receive, it reaches that benchmark, because once you send a warning letter, that could potentially be used in the magistrate's court. So we just need to make sure there's enough evidence there.
Okay, have there been any other incidents or reports that you've received, either before then or since then? I mean, obviously May till now, it's not very long time, or whether you've done any further inspections?
Not that I'm aware of. I can't comment as whether the noise team incredibly helpful and go out, and when they're carrying out visits, they may go via certain premises, but sometimes will only tell us if they've actually seen offences take place. So they may well have visited and not seen anything, but I'm not aware of that. So I can't give any more information on that, I'm afraid.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, can you add anything to that?
Yes, I can confirm that we have not received any noise complaint from the premises. And the last complaint received was in 2024 and was regarding the extractor fan.
Okay, thanks.
Councillor, may I?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I would like to highlight about the fan issue, which was back in 20. As we have recently take over on the premises, we have nothing to do with that one. And the second thing is that
Sorry, when did you take over? I missed that.
The premises, which the issue with the fan extractor news has nothing to do with us. They were previous owners. So we
okay, no, that's okay.
Yeah, and regarding that warning letter, Android, which mentioned, obviously it was keep mentioning by the Charlotte and by the things. What happened? Mr. Ahmed Farid Sultan was on holiday and he's a family member, and the previous manager, Mr. Matiula Jan, has this incident which we were not aware that he served the customer. When we asked Mr. Matiula Jan regarding this matter, they were saying that the customer have ordered the food before in hours and collect the food later on. That's what his excuse. However, we deeply regret about this incident which was happened, which shouldn't be happen. But I personally spoke, Mr. Sultan spoke with the council member regarding this matter, and obviously we explained to them, look, we weren't aware that they were opening. And as obviously our responsibility was to know about this, and we can have evidence that we were in a holidays at that time when this incidents happened. And when I come back and I asked him, the reason which was given by staff to us is that, yeah, we had this issue come up and the customer ordered before the timing, we had the food ready and we have to give him the food and blah blah whatever what is. But we assure you that once obviously the license was been granted to us to 12 o'clock, we will not be serving a customer at 12.01, but which we don't need it, sir. And if the license still not being granted, we will be closed 11 o'clock. But however, we requested to kindly please that no complaints or no any such things on our shop, as we care about the community. I have a picture on a shop, which obviously it is on one of the appendix that we provide. It's nothing to do with licensed community, but we provide 10% discount to police, NHS,
yeah, okay. I wouldn't go down that route if I were you.
Problem. Apologize for that one. So anyways, look, the reason I'm saying sometimes these people needs food, and I'm not just putting this one to saying that, oh, we want it for only NHS people. Like I just want to make this point that sometimes any voluntary member needs a food, and we are there to serve them. Not financially, as I have no option to put 10% off. If I was like financially want this 1 hour to earn more money.
Okay.
Thank you, member.
On another issue, then, have you applied for planning permission, for variation on your planning permission?
No, this was also mentioned on the community, but we never had that one. Has a landlord. We had a scaffolding installed. It has nothing to do with us, and we never asked for a permission. Obviously, we are tenant there, not we don't own the building, so this might be from the landlord, the original landlord, not from us.
Okay, so do you have any plans to apply for variation? I mean, if you were given your application tonight was successful, would you then be looking for planning permission, a variation, which says 11 o'clock finish?
I do not understand your questions.
Right.
Sorry.
The planning permission that you have at the moment, which was done by an independent appeal planning inspector, gives you the shop can open till 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, okay.
Yeah. if tonight we granted you permission to stay up until 12,
12 o'clock, okay.
would you be going to planning and asking for a variation to allow you to stay open till 12?
Will I be able to doing a variation?
Would you go to planning and say, I need to change my hours of opening to 12 to coincide with the license?
I do apologize, sir, for this question that I don't understand. That if I'm not wrong, what you are trying to tell me, that if you grant me a permission, what do I have any planning or what? Like,
no, what I'm saying is that if you get permission to stay up until 12 o'clock,
12 o'clock, okay,
and you stay open till 12 o'clock, you would be in breach of your planning conditions, which say you have to shut at 11.
Okay.
So therefore, what would you do about that?
If you don't give me, I do apologize if I don't understand your question again. According to your understanding, if I don't get a permission, if I don't get it, and I still be open, or we will be closed. I mean, we will be closed. And if I grant a permission from you till 12 o'clock, we will be open. And our planning is clear. Like, I don't understand really and truly, sir, if that's the correct answer I've given to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but there's clearly a lack of there is a lack of understanding there. There's two separate. I can't go into that sort of detail here, unfortunately, but there's two parallel sets of rules. One is the planning permission, which states how long you can stay open till, and then there's the licensing one, which is what we're dealing with here tonight.
Okay.
One is not dependent necessarily on the other, but
fair enough. And planning permission, when you ask, is to build a building or to do a refurbishment on the building, or is just a normal procedure?
No, it can be conditions of use, which include opening times.
Yes, we will go to planning community, whatever you call it, to if you grant us a license.
Okay. I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'll pass back to you, Chair. Thanks.
I think, Adrian, please, could you explain this planning for us? Maybe he might understand it. Is it possible?
Yeah, no, happy to help, councillors. Yeah, so basically, it's not just a license that you need to, if you want to open until midnight, that is, and sell hot food, it's not just a license that you need to change. You also need to change your planning permission as well. So if members were minded to grant you a license tonight, you would also have to change your planning permission separately. It's a separate regime, separate legislation, and you'd need to change that as well so that you could trade until midnight. So I think Councillor Harcourt was asking, if you were granted a license tonight until midnight, would you then be changing your planning? But by the sounds from what you said, that you would do that, and that because obviously if you didn't do that, you'd be operating unlawfully. But yeah.
Yes, we will be. May I?
Yeah, speak.
Yes, we will be. We will be.
Thank you.
Councillor, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, just one very quick one. And I think this is for clarity's sake. I think it comes to Christina. If Select Chicken shuts at 11 o'clock, there's absolutely no reason why staff shouldn't stay on till 12 to do the cleaning, is there? It's not a licensable activity, is it?
From a licensing perspective, no, although I wouldn't be able to confirm 100% with respect to any planning conditions that are on the planning permission. So, but again, it is a separate matter. But to answer your question, from a licensing perspective, no, there would not be any offence with staff remaining on the premises cleaning from a licensing perspective.
So there's no need for that extra hour just for the cleaning purpose?
For the cleaning purpose, no. We deal with licensable activities.
That's what I thought. Thank you. Just for clarity's sake. Thank you. Nothing more from me.
Thank you. We have Councillor Stanton to speak.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, everybody. You'll be pleased to know that most of my questions have already been very well answered by Councillor Harcourt. So a couple of things I want to know just for clarification. So to the applicant, you said that you'd only recently taken over the premises. Can you let us know when that was? So you're muted. So you're muted, sir. If you could unmute yourself, please, and repeat yourself.
He's on another phone. I think he's on another phone.
No, I wasn't on another phone. Sorry, I do apologize. As Dominic Stanton mentioned, I'm holding the headphone, madam.
Yeah.
Like I'm holding the headphone.
No, that's fine. We can hear you now. If you can just let me know how long ago you took over this premises.
Around, according to Ahmed Farid Sultan, 8 to 9 months, maximum 9 months.
Well, did you not know the exact date?
Well, I have to look on the lease, sir, but not more than 1 year, less than a year.
So
because it was under Mr. Ahmed Farad Khan Niaz, under the name the lease was.
So the gentleman that sat with you, who is the owner or the applicant?
Yeah, he's Ahmed Farid Sultan, as mentioned, and as I mentioned onto the council.
And does he know? So he's the leaseholder, yes?
Yes, leaseholder, yeah.
So can you please ask him, when did he take over at the premises?
2025, no.
Which month? Which I don't need the exact date.
2025 November.
November 2025. Okay,
yeah.
fine. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
One of there's a lot of papers here, so I've been trying to find the right part. There was mention made of the noise of an extractor fan. Right? You said that was due to somebody else, and it was not a thing now because you have only taken over recently. Does that mean you've removed the fan?
Yes, sir. As I was aware for this, when I mentioned nothing to the, as I was aware from this this fan issues, and I believe when we've been told by the previous owner that they have changed the whole fan with the whole sound sensor. When I say sound sensors, this extractor fan has come with a sound sensor which avoid the noise, which they can, like they install the new fan with the sound sensor inside.
Okay, that's fine. If I could stop you just there for 1 second then. Mr. Prissett, are you still on the call?
Yes, I am.
Hi, yeah. I know that you said, and I'm sorry, I've forgotten the name of the gentleman that you're representing. Was it Michael?
It was Lawrence.
Lawrence, sorry, apologies. Yes, he, I believe, lives directly adjoining the.
Yes.
It's a shame he's not here, actually. Can you shed any light on the noise or any nuisance that is no longer or continues to be caused by the fan?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really.
Okay, no, that's fine. If you can't, that's
okay.
Just wouldn't be helpful. That's great. I did have some questions regarding that planning issue that Councillor Harcourt mentioned. I won't go into that in too much detail, other than clearly planning and licensing are two different regimes, but they do work together. So I would give my advice to the applicant that he really does need to look into this, because he may, and it's in the papers, he may be surprised to know that the current planning consent does not allow delivery by motorized vehicles. Okay, so you need to look into this very, very carefully. But one thing I did want to know, I'm still mildly confused by these closing times. However, I was doing a little bit of looking around earlier, and I did note that Just Eat, and you deliver through Just Eat. Just Eat say that you close at 11:30.
May I?
Yes.
Please do.
Yes. As mentioned in some of our online things, as it was mentioned even in the complaint, that we are open 24 hours, sir. We are not open 24 hours. Most of the timing, even I'm not sure mentioned.
Let me stop you there. I'm asking very specifically about Just Eat.
Yeah.
And you said earlier that unlike the Google page, with Just Eat, you can go in and you can set what the time is.
Yeah.
And the time, as of about half an hour ago, said 11:30.
In which, in the Google or in the
Just Eat.
Look, we are not open till 11 o'clock, sir. Any timing, which even mentioned in OLED, I might personally would like to amend it right now or later on, because we were being informed by the council by this matters that you are open 24 hour. When I
Well, we're not
realized
talking about 24 hours. We're talking very specifically about Just Eat, which says 11:30.
I'm not aware that I will have to change it or change it right away, straight away.
Okay, so you weren't
We
aware.
are not
Okay,
aware.
no, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. Yeah. Reference was made earlier to the noise of not delivery bikes and Uber Eats type things, but commercial collection and deliveries. Can you let us know when your waste, your refuse is collected, and what times during the day or the week you take food deliveries? Stock and the like.
Can you repeat your question, sir? I do apologize.
Yeah. When is your rubbish taken away, and when
rubbish
do you take food deliveries? What time of day?
Every day.
Yes.
And
what time?
And what time exactly after we put the bag onto the first mile, and we keep it outside, and they usually take 11:30, 12 o'clock, 12:30. Not exact time which we are aware, but first mile collected when we put it outside, and we are being told to put our bins after 6 o'clock
in the evening.
In the evening.
In the evening. Okay.
Yeah. So we wrap our bin bags on the first mile bags, and we put it outside.
Yeah, but it's late at night. Those is the answer. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Not first thing in the morning. No, that's fine. Thank you.
But may I?
No, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you. I think, Chair, that's probably, as I say, Councillor Harcourt thankfully asked most of my questions already. So I'm going to hand back to you now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, committee councillors. Yeah. Mr. Ahmed, you said you have worked in so many places. So how many premises do you have? Do you work on? How many have you got? You said you have worked in so many places.
None. I'm the manager, and the owner has none.
Yeah, just manager then. Okay. How many delivery drivers are you expecting to have between 11 and 12? How many deliveries have how many are you expecting?
None, madam. You won't believe it that you will. Then you will ask me, why do you need 1 hour license? We hardly get any delivery or even customer after that. We will not get anything. What we are planning, maybe we will have some delivery. Fulham shop, North End Road is quite after 9 o'clock. We hardly have customer in delivery. And we think maybe there is 1 or 2, maybe, we're not sure 100%, that we will have a delivery at this time. That's why I withdraw the application from 1 o'clock to 12.
Okay. How many staff are you hoping to have within this period? How many staff are you hoping to have? How many staff?
Each shift, 3 staff, madam.
Okay. All right. Okay. You said that about food waste. Because the food waste, so you want to stay late. How I don't understand that. I need you to explain about this food waste, because a customer already bought food after 11 or 11:30, after 11 o'clock, which is supposed to be your time. So how do you equate that with your food waste?
Sure. So, madam, fast food is a very sensitive business, and it needs to be looked after very well on the hygienic wise, cooking wise. Otherwise, customer get poison. And in order for that to explain more to you about food waste, like let's assume we cook a food 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and that food has not been sold out after 8 or 8:30, which is a 1 hour law of the regulation. Then what we have to do is we have to throw it away, because if we serve this dry food or a food which is not to be eatable. We have to throw it away. For that one, we work planning wise. When I say planning wise, we look on the timing, and we look at the busyness of the timing rush hour, and we look on the quietness of the premises. And I give you example of if we cook a food, for example, on 8 o'clock, and that food or 9 o'clock, and that food was to be served at exactly 11 o'clock, that food is not servable. So if any customer come 10:30, how can we give that food to that guy? So we require a timing to serve that gentleman and to give him a fresh food. And that's what the waste of food is. Then the food will be wasted. If we even cook it early, that can be dry. And if we cook it later on and we don't have a time to sell it, could be wasted.
Okay. You said you have done the staff training. And could you tell me, how will your staff manage antisocial behavior or somebody that is drunk that comes into the shop? How will your staff manage that?
Good question, Counselor. The drunk person or any person which is not on a behavior, we encourage them after 10 o'clock to not eat on the shop. In order to control them, the staff will remain calm to serve the gentleman, give them the food. If require a help to order a taxi to get them home, the staff has to help him, which was being told to provide them any sort of help to get him in a cab, give him the food, and yes, these are the steps we will be taking further.
That's a very good step. So if the person lives more than far away, so you're still going to pay that cab to take the person home?
Absolutely. If required, why not? If there is a person who needs a help, we are there to serve them, madam. And we don't mean it to say it, we mean it to do it.
That's interesting. So if we have people gathering outside their shop, how will your staff tell the people to move on, that they shouldn't gather around there?
Absolutely. Well, I had experience on back in when I used to work in one of the chicken shop, and we had a massive busy pub by the name of Clattering in Hendon Central, if you're aware on the area. So what mostly we try our best to tell them, look, you need to aware of the resident which lives there. There are children there. We try to make the situation calmly. If they require a food from us, we will serve them accordingly. And if they require any further help, as mentioned, we will try to help them and told them, look, you need to see if you are sleeping and you're making noise. That's what when we were doing at that day, because we were working on that shop and we had a pub Clattering, and they had a massive people coming there, and we tried to make the situation calmly by serve them and to get them in a cab, go to home. That's it.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
So who will be managing the shop?
At the moment, I'm managing.
So what happens to Ahmed?
Basically, Ahmad Farid Sultan has a family member mentioned, quite busy with the kids. He lives like in West Hendon Town. He is coming to the shop to see it, but as aware of his children's not managing the shop properly, but I'm the fully responsible and manager of the current premises.
So at the moment, is Ahmed managing the shop or you managing the shop?
I'm the managing the shop.
How long have you been managing the shop?
About 2 months ago, madam, because I was working before on Chicken Valley in Kilburn, and I've been contacted by Sultan to come and take over the places as of my experience and working on a food industry a lot.
Is he call you to take over? Is he call you to train him so that he will take over? So which one is it?
Sorry, madam, can you repeat your question?
My question is this. Has he called you to train him or has he called you to take over? So which one? So how long are you going to be in that shop? Could you tell me?
I'm at the shop forever. First off, I have no planning to resign it. We have no intention that he is leaving the place or I'm leaving the place. I'm the responsible, means I'm the manager and he's the owner, and he will be with me in the shop for helping any other activity. And I'm there forever for that position. If I have to leave, there must be another person who is fully responsible and well trained by either me to take over the place as a manager position.
So did you train Ahmed or did he train you? Which one? Tell me.
Well, he's also had the experience, madam, and I had experience as well. He's been here as a fast food owner and I'm a manager, so we help each other.
Yeah. So how many staff altogether, including him?
Including them, as I say, per shift 3 staff, so it's a 6, so 4 and 2 with us 6.
Okay.
It's a per shift. When I say per shift, it's 10 to 6 or 6 to 11.
6 to 11. So how many shifts are there?
2 shifts.
And one is what time to what time?
From 10 to 6 and 6 to 11, or 10 to 5 or 5 to 11, depends on the shifts which has been arranged to staff.
Okay. Okay, I don't have much question. Any more questions from members? Okay, Councillor Wesley Hackett, yeah. Yes.
Thanks again, Chair. Just one quick question. This is to Jan. You mentioned you had a case with the law enforcement team regarding ASB. I didn't quite catch what that was about. Could you just give me some details as to what the case involves, and
Yes.
assuming it's relevant to?
So just to be clear, it was not me, it was Lawrence.
Okay, that's fine.
Who I represent and who lives next to the premises. And it was concerning some antisocial behavior. He gave the reference number. I don't have more details on the case. He gave the reference number. It's 2104. But I can't give you more details on the case.
Okay, was it? Do you know? Was it to do with Select Chicken or some other issue?
I think it was to do about the activity going on in the alleyway behind Select Chicken.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, I think Ahmed, your hand is up. Yes.
Regarding for comment for Jan Priesta, as the alleyway which he mentioned, we installed recently, I'm going to share the picture, the landlord has installed the door back of our the shop. It used to have no door while entering to our shop, or maybe that's the reason. Now we have locked that place, have a code, only the staff has the access.
Okay. I think, do we have any more questions? Anybody wants to say something? No. We talked about clearing the mess after people have gone. So what do you do when people have left the premises and there are boxes of liters of takeaway papers everywhere? So do your staff come around to pick those papers, or what do they do?
Absolutely, madam. Why not? If there is littering right outside our shop and we see them, we pick them up. Not because of this license, but we know these litters belongs to us, or the customer have throw it away. We can pick them up, put them in our bin, then put them for the first mile, and they take it and recycle them.
Okay. Any more questions, members? Okay. Any more comment from anyone? No. Okay. Please, we're now going to go to sum up, and please, all the parties will sum up for 3 minutes, and we'll start with licensing officer. Licensing officer, Christina?
No further comments from myself, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have the objectors. We have Edrin, 3 minutes to sum up.
Thank you, Chair. I won't take that long. I don't have a great deal to add, really, but only just to just to go over the fact that I think this is a very noise sensitive area. You can see from the volume of objections from residents that there has been a history of disturbance in the past. And I think, that should be taken into account this evening, even though the application in itself, at first glance, now that it's been amended, is quite modest. I still think just where it's located is what's going to cause the issue. And just to reiterate our concerns, it's really about people coming and going from the premises, additional customer footfall during sensitive nighttime hours, customers arriving and departing through that final trading hour, and then customers waiting outside the premises as well. I do find it surprising as well that the applicant has said that he's probably only expecting a couple of deliveries in the last hour, and it just seems can't quite get my head around that, considering that he's making an application to vary the license, and he's then going to have to make an application to change the planning permission as well. You would think it would need to be something that was, be worth his while from an economic point of view. But I would say, finally, that if members were minded to grant the application, I would suggest potentially having a condition in relation to deliveries that any vehicles are only electric, just to try and minimise any noise, and potentially to only allow the provision of late night refreshment for half an hour rather than the hour that's been suggested. But I don't have anything else at this stage. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have noise and nuisance. We have John Garcia. John?
Yes. For the noise and nuisance, we are still not satisfied with the mitigation plan or the steps that the applicant proposed to mitigate the impact of the late night activity. I still concerned about the activity, the impact in the premises or residents living next, behind, or opposite to the premises. I still of the view that there is a real risk of public nuisance, and if the license is granted, as the applicant has made it, then we strongly recommended not to trade until 23 hours. That is our position. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we go to residents. Michael is not here, so we have Jan. Jan, you're representing Lawrence, so you have 6 minutes to sum up.
Yeah, I will be quick. I will not repeat all the points I made previously. I'm still concerned about the public nuisance and the noise that we would get in the area after 11 p.m. And I understand that for the business, maybe 1 hour might not be a lot, but for residents who are trying to sleep, 1 hour of disturbed sleep is a lot. So I would ask the committee to reject the application.
Thank you. We have Henry.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to briefly respond to 3 points made by the applicant, if that's okay. My first point concerns food waste and cleaning. The applicant suggested that later trading hours are needed to reduce unsold food, but with respect, I'm not persuaded by that reasoning. If stock is left over at the end of the day, that is a matter of forecasting demand and purchasing appropriate quantities and adjusting production. That's extending trading hours to sell excess stock, I would say, is transferring a business management issue into additional late night activities affecting residents, and I'm not convinced by that. The same applies to cleaning, which has already been touched on. My second point concerns the applicant's statement that it pays for taxis for intoxicated customers. That sounds reassuring, but there's no supporting evidence that has been provided, and I think that there have been opportunities to provide evidence that's not been provided. So yeah, there's no records, and one assertion or even one isolated example is not enough to establish an effective mitigation measure. So to settle that it generally works, the committee would need multiple data points over a meaningful period, such as incident logs, taxi receipts, records showing how often the procedure has been used and what the outcome was. A third point is concerning the suggestion that local residents need access to refreshment at midnight, and I respectfully disagree with that. While some people might wish to buy food at midnight, the vast majority of residents try to sleep realistically, because dinner time is 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock for most people, not half midnight. So yeah, that's all. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. We have Charlotte. Charlotte, you are representing a lot of people. You are going to have 54 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Well, as usual, I'm not going to take, 54 minutes. Thank you very much, Chair. So first I'd like to, and it might have been sort of a turn of phrase, but Adrian Overton just said to vary the license. There is no license. So I'm sure it was just a turn of phrase and it's late and, he's tired. That's fine. I respect Adrian. He's the team manager. We have a great relationship with him. He's top of his game, inner London Borough. He knows what he's talking about. But I would like to point out that he said to vary the license. Also, he said that he would suggest to the committee that they suggest vehicles are only electric. We've established, it is established that is an impossibility. Deliveroo, Uber Eats, whatever the other one is called, you cannot order up electric vehicles. Now, at the next hearing, we'll bring that evidence to you, but really the licensing authority should bring it to you. It's not possible. It just doesn't work that way. And, we established that a few weeks ago through online survey, et cetera. But anyway, so it's in your licensing policy, which was put into place in 2022. And that was sort of an aspiration at that point with Deliveroo, with delivery economy services. But it is no longer an aspiration and it's no longer a possibility. And okay, it's only my evidence that I'm saying this right now, but I've looked it up yet again, as I did a few weeks ago and it's very clear you cannot order up just electric vehicles. So if you put a condition on, then it can't be enforced, and therefore it's not a condition that means anything. So please don't do that. Oh my goodness. The franchisee, okay, I spoke, as you know, from everything you've read, the franchisee, and somehow they haven't been explaining that they are a franchisee. There are, as Sarah Chambers put in her representation and her additional supplemental, this is a franchise. They have 20 franchises plus around London. They aspire to be global, which is fine. Everybody aspires to that. And it happens, as we know, from other, places that are on North End Road. So this franchisee rang me. I'm sorry I can't pronounce their names. They probably can't pronounce mine, but I can't pronounce their names. And I asked him specifically, and as you know, from my evidence that I gave you from my conversation, he told me that he was a franchisee for just, I think I wrote, I can't see it now. I can't keep all these screens together. But anyway, he was there at least a year. Now we just heard that it was maybe 8 to 9 months that he's a franchisee. And then when I spoke to the manager who rang me, anyway, as you remember, the franchisee he doesn't come to the place because it takes an hour to get there. That's a typical London ride. But anyway, so the manager then rang me the next day, as I said in my thing, so not to bore you with the details that you've read, but and he told me he'd been there 3 months. Now tonight we just heard him saying he'd been there 2 months, and we heard the franchisee saying he'd been there 8 to 9 months. We have a lot of information here that isn't making sense to me. And I don't believe that it's making sense to anybody else at this hearing. And I'm very concerned about it because these are facts, evidence being given by people. So my facts are, he said 12 months that he's been a franchisee, and the other ones, the manager said he'd been there for 3 months. And then he went into how competitive the environment was, and there are a lot of places that don't have a license, but they're competing 24 hours a day, even though they don't have a license, or they're following the rules and, they're working, but they're only till 2300, so they're not on the list of licensed premises. Okay. So saying that he's a leaseholder since November 2025 is very different than what he said to me on the phone. Now, I haven't looked up the leasehold, and I could have done that quickly and paid £7 and satisfied us all on who owns this leasehold from the land registry. But I didn't take time or money to do that. The extractor fan has to continue to be on, if I understand it correctly, when they are cleaning. They have to turn it off to do sort of a wipe and so on, but then they need to keep it on. So the extractor fan is only supposed to go till 2300 from planning standpoint, as Councillor Harcourt pointed out. So we have anomalies there as well. Okay, just 1 minute, please. 2 sets of rules. Yeah, okay, so Councillor Harcourt tried to explain. That's why we can continue to say in all of our representations that as per the S182 guidance at 14, whatever the number is, would you please start working more closely with James Carlton on these issues, because these applicants such as those tonight do not understand. And it ends up, because planning has they don't send people around to check anything anymore, okay? And licensing doesn't send people around. There's no proactive checking of things. So it's residents that are doing this. We're doing this from a planning standpoint. We're doing it from a license. We want to save our corner of Fulham, please. We have to do it. The burden is on us. It's very unfair. It's very wrong. We need more involvement of the committee to move the licensing authority to start doing proactive surveys in the area. That's what we need. And that's what if you grant a license tonight, that's what this place needs. Proactive. Every so many months, come along and they check things and they find things, okay. Anyway, I appreciate Henry explaining his 3 points. Very pertinent, very helpful, evidence-based, as the man is a statistician and a banker. So we thank him very much for that. In the end, there's a lot of confusion here, and I don't even believe that we still understand whether they would be doing delivery only between 11 and 12, or they'd be doing customers and delivery only. But it doesn't, I'm sure you'll figure that out, even if you have to have an extra session to ask them about it. But it's not clear. And that's why Sarah Chambers wrote in her ward panel thing, that it wasn't clear. And I have to say, please allow me to say this, nothing against the licensing. Sorry, I've forgotten her name now. I've spoken to her several times, but the other person, not Adrian, the other person, she actually used the word takeaway when I think she meant delivery only, when she was explaining the July 8th or whatever, she was explaining they had applied for this and that, and she used the word, well, we have to go back and get the transcript, which I will do, of course. But she said takeaway. So again, we have to be very careful in the future. Takeaway is basically people coming off the premises, i.e., they buy indoor. And delivery only, I guess, is outdoor. I think we need clarification on this, but because we need to use the vocabulary. I won't mention the act, but we need to use the proper vocabulary. And in this instance, we're using takeaway, we're using indoor, outdoor, it's very confusing. But perhaps what the applicant is saying is that he wants another hour to clean. Okay, well, I don't know. He told me on the phone, I think I wrote that down in my submission, that he needs 2 hours to clean. So we haven't even gone there, but we won't go there tonight. In essence, this is a very still confusing application. We've put in our evidence, which is Hammersmith and Fulham evidence, that this area, this residential vertical village between Fulham Road Roundabout and Lily Road Roundabout, Wallen Green Ward on the left, Lily Road, Lily Green, Lily Ward on the right, basically, except Clemately Court, as you know, is Lily, so it kind of pulls around. This is a highly densely area. It's a vertical living of at least 12 to 1,500 people. We've put in an FOI, a Freedom of Information Act request, so that we can get those numbers for you for any future applications. And below it are shops. So the terrace that you see on those pictures, yeah, I think it's, again, I've written it down, but I can't remember now. It's 15 shops, I think. 15 shops, one or two of them are double shops. So maybe, in Victorian times, everything was in even numbers. So let's say it was 14 or 16, yeah. And above that is 2 and 3 levels, and all those people across, and the front of Clemately Court facing this place. We're talking about at least 2,000. Well, at least, I don't know, 1,700 people or something like that. And that's what this application is about. It's about a place that is in a terrace that's creating, one more bit of nuisance and so on for these residents above, these residents across. That yes, the mayor, Sharon Holder, is very concerned about, and she told me that 2 weeks ago. And that's my evidence that I give to you as a last point. And please remember that Councillor Cowan, as leader, is very concerned about businesses that need to be good citizens, he's been quoted. And I don't believe that that is the case this evening. And with that, I sadly end and say, please, therefore, reject this application. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you so much. Now we have our applicant. We have Ahmed. You have 81 minutes to sum up.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that much time, madam, but as Dexter, Charlotte Dexter had made some of the points, and I want to clarify it, please. We don't own Select Chicken. Select is a brand like a KFC or McDonald's or, for example, anybody. We have nothing to do with that franchises first. Second thing, she made accusation, allegation, whatever, that Select, I was told that we are open number. Select franchise was there in Norton Road back in 2020, which somebody by the name of Mr. Ahmad Farad Khan Yaz take it and made it, and we took our later on. Tomorrow somebody else can take it over. Means that Select Chicken shop is just a franchise. We are just a tenant. So we have nothing to do with the franchise which was owned 23. Yes, there's a 50 branches maybe, or 25 or 24. I'm not sure. I'm not going there. But there has nothing to do with us. Again, she said there was a manager who told us 3 months ago, and now he come to, I told you, I come here as a 2 months, which we seen this issue. Whoever she spoke to him may be a different person. And we agree with her concerns, madam. We absolutely agree with resident concern. However, in order to clarify that what are the opening hours, our opening hour will be 11 to 12. We need license. She asked whatever it will be takeaway or delivery, both. She said that there's no possibility for the electric scooter to be implemented. Yes, in Uber, there is option for electric car to order rather than ordering a petrol car. The Uber and these will implement some policy in the app in order for people to buy electric vehicle and electric scooter, and mostly delivery driver, they are cheap and reliable, and we can see they have electric because of no insurance, no fuel, no expenses. So these are some of the points I want to clarify to Charlotte Dexter in order for us to understand what we are planning and what we are doing. 12 o'clock, 1 hour we needed. We draw our application from Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 12, and we will encourage customer after 10 o'clock to not eat in, to give them a takeaway. We can't promise, but we will encourage them to avoid public nuisance. And thank you for your time, and thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Charlotte, I know you raised your hand and you have done your own speech.
No, sorry, I was trying to unraise my hand. It's my fault, totally my fault.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. Now the committee will now retire and take its decision in a separate room. You are welcome to remain in the meeting to hear committee's decision. However, this might take some time. If you do not want to wait, a summary decision will be published on Council's website tomorrow morning. Can I ask members to turn off their video, mute their microphone, and join me in a private room? Thank you for deliberation.
Do we need to tell Amrita that we're back? Oh, she's...
Okay, let me tell her. Okay.
Chair, I'm here.
Oh, okay, they're here.
You can proceed with the decision now, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you so much. A summary decision for licensing subcommittee, 23rd July 2026, Succulent Chicken, located at ground floor 349 North End Road, London, SW6 1NN. The premises. The committee have considered an application for the grant of premises license under the Licensing Act 2003 for the sale of late-night refreshment. The application, in summary, the committee have decided, after taking into account all the individual circumstances of this case and the promotion of all licensing objectives, to 1, grant the application in part as follows. A, late-night refreshment, both indoors and outdoors. 1, Thursday to Saturday, 11 o'clock to 11:30. B, the premises opening hours to the public, Sunday to Wednesday, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Thursday to Saturday, 10 o'clock to 11:30. To add to the license all the conditions proposed by the police and agreed by the applicant, this premises license shall expire 6 months from the date of grant. 4, a responsible member of the staff shall carry out proactive litter patrol outside the premises at least 2 times per day throughout the premises opening hours and additional at the end of trading hours to ensure that there is no litter associated with the premises in the immediate vicinity, and any such litter found shall be collected and returned to the premises for disposal with the premises normal waste or refuse collection. A written record of proactive external litter patrol shall be kept for a minimum of 31 days from the date of the last entry of the record, and this record shall be available for inspection on request by authorized officer of the licensing authority at any time the premises are open. 6, signage shall be prominently displayed at the exit from the premises asking patrons to dispose their waste in the litter bin. 7, in addition to police condition 3, 4, and 5, the trainer must be qualified in Licensing Act 2003 training matters. Records of the trainee's qualification shall be the training provided, the dates of training, and the staff member trained shall be kept and produced to the authorized officer on request. A copy of this committee's full decision, including its reason and full text of the condition added to the license, shall be sent to the parties forthwith. If applicants or any person who has made relevant representation is unhappy with the decision, they are entitled to appeal to magistrate court within 21 days from the date of notification of the full decision. I thank you all for attending. I thank you all.